Work it out. Boom! We're live, Miss Jennifer. What's
Good
happening?
morning. How are you?
Good morning. I see you got your reindeer antlers.
You hear my jingle bells?
No, do it again. No, I can't hear them. You have to go harder, girl. Like
I'm not going on. I'll get a headache.
Well, I'm in the Christmas spirit too, and I've got reindeer ribs on the grill cooking right now for all the kids out there. Y'all, no?
I mean, do you cook them in your Grinch outfit is all I want to know.
Yes. Yes. I got my special green Grinch seasoning, the green chili on the reindeer ribs. My favorite. Oh my goodness. Are you excited for today, Jen?
I am excited for today just because we a lot of times dig into some uncomfortable conversations, but believe it or not, like 2025 is one of those that I've had to do a lot of thinking on. And I know that we talk a lot. We have a lot of people in our tribe and our community that have some big things coming up. So I'm excited for them to share and them to kind of do a little bit of self-reflection, and hopefully we get some good conversations in the chat.
Oh, definitely. You know, I'm excited to see like the cheat codes that people share.
Yes.
Assuming that people have. I know we got some people on the live, so let us know if you're there. What is going on, Omniverse? So let's see, where were we last session? What did we talk about? We talked about something, didn't
kind of
we?
Reflection of 2024. I think we were looking back on what we accomplished, what we were able to do this year, kind of some big things, or even not big things, but just what did 2024 look like, and then what I think our transition is. Okay, now what's next?
Yeah. So what are we going to make 2025 look like? And so the theme for today is let's thrive in 2025. Yes. We got some comments coming in. What's going on, people?
Yes. Good morning, Josh Wallace. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. And we got Mr. Ernest Hernandez. That's my brother. He says coming in from St. Antonio.
Nice.
Oh, man. Now they're populating. Claudia, how you doing?
Good morning, Claudia. How are you?
Yeah, I think she's coming in from Florida, and she signed up for the Do the Damn Thing time management workshop.
Do you know which one?
I think she's on the January 3rd one.
Okay, that's okay. But I got to see her in person because I'm doing an event in Florida in January, and I'm getting to work with her. So I'm super excited.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, that is the ultimate. I'm a little bit jealous, I got to tell you.
I'll take pictures and I'll share them just for you.
Yeah. I think this is probably going to be the first one that you beat me on, damn it.
I mean, no. I have no doubt it is not the first
one. Miss Elizabeth Ponce, how you doing, my sister? Good morning. Then we got Tanya. Miss Tanya coming in from San Antonio. Oh man, we got everybody today.
Yes. Come on.
Oh, look at this. Here's something, a nugget for people to think about. Instead of smart goals, dumb goals. Daring, unbelievable, magnificent, and bold.
I love it.
Whoa. Miss Amy Campbell coming in.
Good morning.
Yep. And then Miss Heather Jones. How you doing, Miss Heather?
Good morning. Thank you.
Jesus, look at this. Christopher White coming in from upstate New York.
We got everybody here today.
And then the infamous Lance Furiyama. What's up, Lance?
Yes.
Oh, look, people are loving the dumb goals.
Yep.
Yes, I agree. Ditto.
You make them so big and so out there that I mean, what else is there to do? Come on.
I was watching, and this is what my goal for today is to shift and push harder than normal for people, or help people think about pushing harder. I can't remember where it was. I was doing heavy research on TikTok. That's what it was. And I saw some clip.
You expense that out too.
What's that?
You expense that out as working.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's billable hours, girl. Watch out. And the thought that they had that was kicking around was, if you're sharing your goals and aspirations with your friends, and they say yeah, then your goal ain't big enough.
Right.
All right,
I
the
completely
challenge
can see that. Yes.
where everybody says, "What the hell? You're freaking
Like, there
nuts!"
ain't
And
no way
then
you can
you're
do
on the
that. Yes, those are the ones. Be like, you're not gonna be able to do that. I know it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be awesome. Yes, absolutely. Oh man, look at this. So we got Miss Sharon
Good
Bird. Good morning, Miss
morning.
Sharon. Maria Martin coming in. She says Jen looks cute.
Of course.
Maria, you don't even know. You should see the ribs I got on the grill. Those are cute.
You can
My
have a picture
reindeer
of
ribs.
the Grinch cooking reindeer ribs on the barbecue. I already see it. I already see it.
Oh yeah, and then we got the chief marketeer Steve Morton coming in
Yes.
from Connecticut.
Yes.
And then Mr. Jake Jones saying heavy research. I've got to remember that. Yeah, bro, use it. Like it counts. TikTok all day, every day. Well, until next year when they cancel it. Oh, look, Heather say, no, you don't. All right. So Jen, we got a little bit of housekeeping.
Yes.
We got the blue heart thing. Let us know, what is that all about?
That is, and so what I've seen names on here that I've not seen before, even though I know you're out there and I've had conversations with you. So we would like you, if you, now some of you watch us and you kind of lurk and you listen, but you don't really like put your fingers to the keyboards or on your phones and you contribute and add comments. And this morning I'm already seeing people that I've not seen before. And so what we ask you to do, if this is your first time contributing by just adding into the chat, there's a couple things that happen by you doing that. Number one is it lets us know you're there and it lets our tribe know you're there. And if it's your first time, we ask you to add a blue heart into the comment, whether you write it or you just right click and go to emojis and put a blue heart, because it signals to us, one, that you're here and that we want to make sure we call you out, but two, our tribe now has new connections. And so they will then swarm you, go connect with you, follow your content, and interact with you, which is amazing because that's really what we're trying to do, is build community. And then the other piece of that is, Jesse, when they add their name and when they contribute, what happens?
When you contribute into the chat, and that could be like Jennifer said, saying something or dropping emojis in the chat, that gets your name put into the randomizer. And so what we'll do at the top of the hour, we'll go to the randomizer and it'll do the magical spinny thing, and it gives you an opportunity to win access to a session of the No BS. I'm sorry. Emotional bungee jumpers, yes, and the cultivation crew.
Yes.
And so again, put your name in there. If you're a frequent flyer or a frequent offender and you win, like Miss Sarah is a frequent offender. She is part of the emotional bungee jumpers cultivation crew. If she wins, then she gets to gift it to somebody within her circle. So that doesn't go to waste, and we'll have some awesome fun. But again, comments, leave the comment in the chat, leave a, thumbs up or thumbs down if you think it sucks. Awesome. And it'll get you in the randomizer, and we'll be able to harass you some more.
Yes.
And are we doing an after party, or did we kill that?
We do.
Part
no, yes. So it's a Teams call. We've realized that we had to kind of make a shift because LinkedIn decided that they weren't going to do it on their platform, which was okay. So it's in there. It's shared on our No BS page, along with, I'm sure Jesse will share it towards the end, but it is a Teams call. You can keep your camera off. We're not going to require you to turn it on, but you have the ability to turn it on. And it is just us following up on the conversations that we have today, where Jesse and I do a lot of the talking. And on the after party, we get to listen to you and your voice and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you don't know by now, the subject or topic of our next conversation is usually pulled from the conversation in the after party.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the main reasons we've been able to keep this going the way it has been, is because of the contributions of the community out there in the Omniverse.
Jesse, and I just want to note, like you said, that how we've been able to keep this going. Like our first live stream in January, which will be 2 weeks from now, will be us being live 3 years every other Saturday morning. Isn't that crazy?
It is. That's almost as long as my longest marriage. So
I mean, like we still like each other. It's crazy.
yes, yes, yes. Well, and the group and people keep. I mean, we have
Yes,
amazing people to show up.
yes,
So yeah,
yes.
3 years. So thank you all for that. And we got a new year coming at us.
We do. And it's a big one individually. I think also as a group and a community, it's a big one. And yes, and so that's what we're going to get to talk about today.
Amen, sister. So here's the question that everybody wants you to answer, Jen.
Everybody's going to answer. Let's put it that way. Everybody. Yay.
So the question to the Omniverse is, how will you thrive in 25?
Yes.
And like for real, let us know in the comments. Do you do the what's the word? Resolutions? Do you do
right.
the word for the year? Like, what's your sauce, your technique around getting ready for the new year? Let us know in the comments. And more important, like the little cheat codes and tweaks that you've done that help you have phenomenal years, or at least get started off to an amazing year, so that we can like pick and pull from everybody's secret goal.
Goal. We want like a cheat code book.
Yeah, exactly. We want a cheat code. Okay, so we're having some issues here. Sharon, thank you for the heads up. She says that we're frozen. She left and came back and we're still frozen. So folks, let us know if everybody's having the same issue. Something to consider, Miss Sharon, is YouTube. If you go to YouTube and search "No BS" with Jen and Jess, there's usually very little glitchy stuff happening on the YouTube. But folks, if it's happening, if y'all have any tricks or techniques, please help Sharon out, because we want to make sure she can have the same fun that everybody else is having.
Yes.
All right, so.
We have people. Yes. Can you
what do you think about that, Jen?
We've got new people. We got blue heart.
Yeah, so there's Mr. Charlie Dunn, the Blue Heart Swarm, Mr.
Welcome,
Charlie. That's so awesome. We're going to be hanging out with him too in 25.
Yes.
We got Mr. Jeremy.
That's one of my people. Hello, Jeremy. He's a Blue Heart. Like he does. If he got in after we said it, but he's a Blue Heart. So everybody connect with him.
Yes, yeah, and he's already sharing one of his things.
He shares amazing. He's a people safety guy, which is like so cool.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. We got a bunch of stuff. Okay, good. Sharon says she's good. Awesome. Thank you, Miss Sharon. And so back to the question. Jeremy, like he's first timer, he just jumped in. He says, I do set goals, typical professional and family goals. I also like to reflect on failures so I can improve. And he's not frozen here. What do you think about that, Jen?
Well, I mean, we know, Jesse, like everyone loves to celebrate their successes. Everybody loves to talk about and highlight and all the cool things they're doing. And we found the people that usually are in our space are the people that we get to hang out with more, like really get excited also about their screw ups and the things that like didn't go well and the things that like I learned from this so that I know how to do better. Those are not normal conversations that people are very comfortable with. People don't really like to share like where the attention goes on them. I'm like, I didn't make the right choice. I didn't plan for this. I didn't anticipate this. I thought this is what was going to happen based on previous stuff, and it didn't go that way. Like people don't talk about that. And so we love we don't like when people get hurt and we don't like when bad things happen, but we know they're going to happen. And we know that in construction, there's a lot of things that happen that could have been prevented, or a conversation that happened that maybe, okay, this wasn't a big deal, but if we share it and socialize it, someone else may not make the same mistake.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Sharon says failure is feedback. Yes, man. Oh, okay. I'm going to settle down.
No, it's going to be great. Come on.
Miss Rocio, she's like, yes, the screw ups. Like if we're not, I'll say it this way. I'm an expert at screwing up. And there were some lessons that I had to relearn many, many times. It cost me almost $100K. because I didn't learn from the screw up, right? Like my contribution to the screw up, it was everybody else's fault. And so that's a big reason why I embrace the like, yeah, I screwed up. Like what can I change so it doesn't happen again? Because I said it last time, nobody has to change for me to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has to change for me to be successful except for me and what's happening here in Jesse land. When that changes, everything becomes magical.
And just so you know, if you see misspelled words, he knows they're wrong. He doesn't care. So it is not a continuous improvement effort for him. I'm just going to say. I'm just going to say it's not like, just Jesse, you should do better. Like, yeah, he doesn't care. So if it's misspelled or it's capitalized and it shouldn't be, or there's no commas, or like, just know, like, he owns it and it is not on his priority list.
Yes, 100%. And thank you, Jen. Like, and I think that's a good point, right? Is maybe later we'll jump into it around when you have a goal. Rather, here's the thought. We're talking about how will you thrive in 2025, and we've got some cheat codes that I'm going to read here in a second. But what I want to accomplish, what I care about, is really important and helpful when people know what that is, because then they can inform and give me feedback and guide me and so forth. And so if you're guiding me and informing me and trying to help me get better with grammar, you're wasting your time, because that's not one of my goals for 2025. And so the point of that is, like, what are your goals? How do you share them so that people can contribute and support you on your path to destroying those goals? What do you think, Jen?
Well, Jesse, I want to add, it's very important. Like you said, like we need to voice it and communicate it, because I want to go back to when you and I were co-writing a book. And when you have someone that could care less about grammar and punctuation and the way, that piece of it, content was important, but grammar and punctuation wasn't. And then you have someone who is an ex-English teacher and grammar is important, and you are both co-writing, authoring a book, like you need to socialize and have very big conversations on. Jesse's like, push the button, do the dang thing. I just want to get it out there. And I'm like, I understand, but it's also a representation of us. And we want to make sure that also there's other people out there that probably it may matter to. So we had to kind of like balance that. And he let me do what I needed to do. And I didn't bother him with the stuff that didn't matter to him.
Yeah. I'm like, well, change it. Like if it's wrong, fix it. Because I don't, whatever, I'm ready to print.
Yes.
Okay. So there's still some technical stuff. So apparently LinkedIn is kicking people off. Go to YouTube, folks, because everybody that's on YouTube seems to be having a good time or not having the same issues. And then we got Mr. Brian coming in from San Diego. What's up, Brian?
All kinds of people this morning. I'm like so excited. Like we have so many new people and names that I've not seen before that I'm like, it's like Christmas morning already for me.
Yeah, and then there's this other conversation. We got some troublemakers and storytellers having a side count. No passing notes in the back of the class. Surprise. I love that. All right, so I'm going to share some cheat codes, answers to the questions. How will you thrive? How do you plan set up for the year? So Miss Mia, how you doing, sister? She says, I do a bit of reflection, year in review, because the year I'm moving on from can often be a blur. Yes. Helps me evaluate where I want to focus my energy going forward into the new year.
Yes.
And so how easy is reflection for you, Jen?
I suck at it. I've always sucked at it, and I've worked very hard, and I'm doing more than I was doing, which was none. Like I didn't like it. If I just keep going and keep moving, like I can move mountains, and it's been proven. And that's great. Like that's not something to like be sad about or be upset about or be ashamed of. But it also like I just keep going and I keep going and I keep going and I keep doing things. And I've realized like that it's going to reflect back in when I answer this question for you. So I had to learn the power of slowing down and taking a breath and the things that I need to do with just me. That doesn't involve the outside world. And I just have lived my whole life if I just keep going, I'm going to keep doing big things. And I've realized now later that there's a lot of power in reflection.
Yes. Thank you for answering that. But I honestly believe, and this is funny, I can't remember, somebody was giving me a hard time. Like, aren't you the do the damn thing guy? I'm like, yeah, I am the do the damn thing guy. But I've spent I'm obsessive, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm always thinking and analyzing and running things over a million times in my head, which helps me make fast decisions. And I'm also tolerant. So I'm like, whatever, let's just do the damn thing. But I credit the reflection time, the volume of reflection time that I have spent for my experiences that I have to today, for becoming aware and discovering of how I best serve others, and then designing my life so that I can do that as often, as many minutes of every single day as possible. That came from reflection. And so I love that there's this common theme, right? It's like, well, I reflect on last year and then I plan for next year. Beautiful, because I help, every now and then I kind of like do real work, right? And when I'm working with businesses and groups and teams, they'll set these big giant goals, right? We want to have 600 million in revenue at the end of the year. Like, okay, let's look back on the past 5 years. What was your performance in annual revenue per year? Like, what does that matter? It's like, well,
50.
If you've only had $100 million, like the biggest year you had is $100 million. I understand being bold and brave and setting big, gigantic targets, but let's evaluate the systems you have that are necessary. Like, you're going 6 times what you got. Do you have a plan in place to just get the sheer head count of people that you need to deliver on that volume of revenue? So, I mean, in my head, that's the simplest way to look at it. Okay, I'm going to set a big goal. Let me look at my past performance, because based on that history, on the reflection, is going to inform the resources, assets, thinkings, ideas, mental models that I'm going to have to learn and adopt in order to hit that goal.
Yes.
And so now, when I'm advising and consulting, that's where I come from. Now, when it's just me and Jesse land, the question I've started asking, I did this last year, I did it again this year, is what is the goal or the target that I can set that's going to force me to learn the most, expand my network tremendously, and challenge me to operate in a different way? And so that's like, ooh. And also, of course, it's got to be in alignment with my mission and my target, like big purpose. It's got to be in alignment with my purpose. And so when I ask that question, then it's like, ooh, okay, well, here we go in another freaking direction, kind of. But that's my deal. What about you, Jen?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things going. So one is yes. And I think 2024 for me, and you said it, like we can just make decisions and we can do big things and we're going to do these things. 2024 to me my word was stabilization. And so I was doing big things, and I have I had a lot of, like irons in the fire, and I was, a part of different things, contributing to different things. And going into 24, I had to be very intentional on what I was not going to take on, what I was going to study, and look and see what's working and what's not. And that required me to slow down a lot and to really analyze. And I just want to help everybody. I want to help everybody fix everything, because that makes sense to me. And that's how I functioned. And I wasn't able to stop and study and see what's working as much as
for people to think about instead of SMART goals. Oops, sorry about that.
That's okay. And so stabilization, it was, what do I have in place? What's working? What's not? Getting a lot of input from other people. And then also I had to say no a lot of times. That's not a normal word that I say, because I, again, want to do as much as I can. But for me to have the most impact and influence, I've learned, and I've had a lot of growth in 24 in a lot of different areas, that I had to say, I care, but I can't contribute to that right now. And so for me, stabilization for 24. So then to answer your question, what is 25? For me, now that I've slowed down, I've studied, I kind of see the areas and the things that I feel like I can help the most. So 25's word is clarity for me. It's getting so clear on where I can maximize my influence and impact.
Okay. So 2025, you said your word, your theme for the year is clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And why?
Because now that I've studied and now that I've kind of spent the year last year realizing the areas that I'm weak in, the areas that I suck at, the areas that I know I've not leaned into because they've been uncomfortable, but I know they can contribute to just so much more growth inside me, that I've kind of like, okay, yeah, that's great. I'll play in that area a little bit, but like I've not leaned into it. And so for me, now that I recognize that, going into next year, like Jennifer, you're gonna have, you can't put your toe in, you can't like wade in the water. Like you're gonna have to jump in and you're gonna have to do the things that you know you need to do. And they may be a little bit different than where your little comfort zone is.
Oh, I like it. So
I'm not sure Sarah, I like it, but I'm saying it out loud because I know that means that I will have help contributing to my goal.
Yeah. Well, and here's another, folks out there, you already know this, Jen, and a lot of people know this. Like, I love to contribute to people's path. I will contribute as much as you allow me to. And so what does that mean? That means when I know or catch wind that you have a target or a goal or something that you're working on, that I can't help but like check on it. I don't know exactly what it is that I do, but it's whatever I do. And so in some cases, I think people find it like they welcome it and they find it helpful. In other cases, they're like, dude, leave me alone. There's just too much pressure. And so what I'm saying for everybody out there in the Omniverse, I absolutely want to contribute to your path. I'm going to contribute to Jennifer's. And when you need me to back the hell off, just tell me to back the hell off. Like, it's not, I understand. I won't hurt my feelings. And if you try to like say it softly and suggestively, I'm going to miss it. I'm dense that way. You just need to tell me like, bro, thank you. I know what you're trying to do. And I don't need that in my life right now. Like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll call you next week. But Sarah says, go ahead.
No, go.
I just want to reinforce what Sarah posted in here is do the damn thing you have. To do the damn thing, you got to self-reflect, slow down to speed up 100%. And so for me, slowing down means doing fewer things. Like, I don't know that I can manage the intensity or the rate at which, but I can filter out the volume of things that I'm playing with. And that helps me hyper focus. Anyways.
Yes. No, I just want to go back and get clearer because Steve made a point. Like I'm still not being super clear. So let me get clear on my clarity for next year. So, and I've talked about this. I've talked about it on here, but we have a lot of new people. So I want to hit on it again is I very much like control. Like that is something I've had my whole life. And I very much know when I have control, I can control the outcome and I can control things that are happening. And that's great. And, in my head, but I also know that I have been very intentional this year on letting go of some of that control, to realize that it also can help the experience be better for the people around me. And so for me, it's really, again, Jesse knew that was my goal. And so it's like, buy the damn nachos, go make decisions that sometimes are not your normal, comfort place. And so for me, what clarity means going into next year is releasing control of situations that I am very comfortable having control of so that the experience can be better for the people around me. Is that clear?
That's it.
Is that better? Okay.
I got it. Okay. So Steve, let us know, was that clear enough? And we got some help going on in the chat because there is apparently we got too much awesomeness. I think it's all like my freaking stellar blue steel good looks that's shorting out LinkedIn right now. So there's a link. Jeremy, thank you, bro, for throwing that in the link for folks. Mia, so you can jump over to YouTube if you're still having issues, because it seems like a bunch of people are switching over to YouTube. And thank you for being patient with us. Though Nomadic Joneses, they say yes. active reflection and making changes throughout the year are more how I work than doing resolutions. And I love that because yes, right? Like when I have a plan, the only thing that's missing is the most important thing, which is reality, right? Like it is the imaginary situation that I intend to bring into the world in the future. And then I introduce it to reality, and there's going to be signals to me about what's working and what's not working. And I need to adjust and respond accordingly. It's like the time management, the do the damn thing time management workshop. It's full up, 45 seats, all of them 100% full already. I did not expect that to happen this early. Like they all filled up 2 weeks before the actual date. I was expecting and totally prepared for them to fill up the last week, right before the damn thing, because that's typically what happens. So now I'm like, oh, there's a signal there. How do I adjust it? Does that mean, do I need to do more? Do I need to do them frequently? Anyways, back to the Joneses comment is setting the target, setting the plan is one thing, but learning as you go forward and adjusting the plan, I think is 100% necessary. Whereas in the past, what I've done, and I'm curious, Jen, if you've ever seen this or done this, where you had a plan, and because this was the plan, you were sticking to it against all, no matter what. What do you think? Because I used to do that.
No.
How about you?
Yeah. Well, yes. And my vision in my head is because I know this is how I've led. And again, we talk a lot about work, but we also talk a lot about not work stuff. And so I lead with authority. And when I'm at home, my vision is I am a bull walking through a china shop. And I know what my goal is, and whatever gets destroyed in the process, like it's okay, because my goal is still going to be met. And not that I step on people, but in my mind, if this was my goal and I'm going to get there, like some of these other like peripheral things. Yeah. But that was part of the process. Like that's how I've justified things.
Or the end justify the means, right?
Yes,
and that's not always. Sure, I met the metric, but I destroyed relationships.
Yes.
Same. Guilty.
Or even like I got that metric, but like what about this other one?
That wasn't on the goal. That wasn't on the board.
Right. Yep. Yes.
Yep. Look, Jen, you got some support.
He gets to hear me talk a lot. So for him to say that, like he gets to hear a lot of the stuff coming out of my mouth.
Oh, love it. Like Claudia's like, I got to release control. You're not the only one, sister.
It is. And it's, I mean, like I don't think I'll ever get there because I've lived so long knowing that's my safe space and that's how I can make sure I get done what I need to get done. But this year has been massive growth in the areas of again, like if I just let go of control and not try to make sure I know what the outcome is going to be, the people around me, like for whatever reason, like they're smiling more and they're laughing and they're enjoying the time. And like, that's important to me. It always is. And you know that it's important to me even when I wanted control, but like by me letting go of a little bit of control, and all of a sudden the people are like, they like being around me and they enjoy it. And these people are my little people. These are my kids that like go do things.
So they're kind of important.
Like, oh, I gotta go, you know, why do we have to, it's like that's what I'm used to because I'm like, we're going to do this and this is the plan and this is the outcome. This is how much money we're going to spend and we're going to have fun. And that's like, and they're like, that wasn't fun for them. And so now they're older.
You better have fun.
They're older, 13 and 16. And now it's just like, what do you want to do? What would make, you know, what's on your bucket list on this trip? And then being able to make those decisions and not be like resentful or mad because it didn't go the way I wanted it to. They like that. It was such a better experience for them.
Yeah. I mean, all I can say is word, right? Look, bring out your badass self, did some real research and has verified. The problem on LinkedIn is there's too much awesome energy causing surges. And that's from the comments. That's from us on screen. So let's break the internet. What do you say?
I mean,
All
Jesse,
right.
you
So
already broke it yesterday, so let's try to. I mean, you're kind of like you're trending right now.
yeah, I
You
love
don't
that.
know? Go check out Jesse's post yesterday.
Oh yeah, y'all don't even know. I'm what's the word? Grooming y'all for my cult. You got to check it out. It's on LinkedIn.
Yes.
All right, so we've got some good stuff. I want to make
Okay.
sure people know that we're not ignoring them.
Yes.
I think this is Tanya. She says,
Okay.
I got this in a fortune cookie yesterday. The only good thing about repeating mistakes is that you know when to be embarrassed.
There you go.
Need to focus on learnings from my mistakes going into 2025 and not making the same ones. Yeah, like don't make the same ones. And I'm not saying that in a nasty way. Like I know because I've done it. I've got the criminal record to prove it.
It took you a
Sarah,
while, right?
it took me a little bit. Oh, that's a big one. So let me read it from here. So Sarah says, for me, I check in with my intuition. Ooh. My intuition says it's going to be a year of change and potentially rebuilding. Okay. So when I plan, I keep that in mind when setting goals. Change requires time. Amen. We have already set our yearly goals company-wise by evaluating our pipeline, our marketing tactics to bring more in, and what we are seeing trend-wise. Additionally, each person evaluates how they want to grow, and we share with others so we can help them. Thank you, Sarah. So the question this brings to my head, because I think this is a common thing. We are pretty good at setting business career goals. We suck. So give me a thumbs up out there if you're like on the same team at setting the goals, or actually, I'll say it this way, we're less than awesome at actualizing our personal dreams and aspirations for ourselves, the things we want to learn, the way we want to contribute, the ideas we want to launch. I'm going to say that we kind of suck at that, but we've always got the SMART goals and we've got, the things for business goals. What do you think, Jen? Am I the only one?
No, you're 100%. And I want to add in that the relationship goals, the connection. And for me, like, that is like where I thrive. That's the core of everything to me. Like, it doesn't matter if there's an end game. It doesn't matter if I'm going to get a sale or it's going to help me down the road to launch my career. Like none of those things matter when I go to connect with another human being. Never. It's like, I want to go and I want to create a connection and I want this person to know they're important. And then later on down the road, that may work out for something else. It may not, but guess what? I've just grown my network. And so that's how I show up. But we don't talk about goals like that. We don't talk about how that plays into what I want to accomplish next year. We kind of talk about, okay, but is it going to help, the sales revenue? And I mean, just like we focus so much on outcomes before we've ever established this part, the human part that will potentially help us get there.
Yes. And I'll say it, the way I think about that is we are experts at the kindergarten metrics. And when I say kindergarten metrics, what I'm talking about is financial outcomes, growing market share, all of the revenue and earnings. Why do I call them kindergarten metrics? Because they're freaking easy to track, right? They're easy to count.
Yes.
I don't care what dashboard you're using or if you're just using a damn spreadsheet, doesn't matter. They are easy to count. What I think, and reinforcing what you're saying, Jen, is the goals that I like to focus on, and I always know when I'm like right where I need to be, because people say, well, how are you going to measure that? How are you going to monetize that? How do you measure that? And like, yeah, exactly. This is a freaking hard one because my goals are guided, like for 2025 and for this year, are guided by the fact that I want to experience the largest volume of fulfillment that I possibly can. Now, I know where I get my fulfillment from. Mm-hmm. How can I measure fulfillment? I don't know. Like, I just feel it, but I know where it comes from. So because that's that's the goal, that's the target, that's the outcome I'm going after, I need to do more of the things that bring me fulfillment. And I know precisely what they are. And then that lends itself to the kindergarten metrics to figure out how to do that more often, more frequently. What do you think? Is that too woo-woo?
No,
Is that pretty?
you're there, and I'm going to tell you the things that how it connects to me and the experiences that I've had is the kindergarten metrics are outcomes. Outcomes. Let me be clear. The kindergarten metrics are outcomes that have to be created to be able to reach that goal. Outcomes. Who is the part of the creation to produce the outcomes? It's the people. Like a machine is, I mean, if you got a sales goal, that's great, but the machine's not the one out there selling the work. Like people have to create experiences and connections and things like that. And so for me, one of those intangible but tangible, how do we measure this? And I'm just going to go within my firm is like we talk about team culture. We talk about connection and how that can play into the success of project teams. And they're like, okay, that's great, but like everyone can get along and everyone can like each other, but we still have to make sure we're hitting budget, schedule, quality, safety, all those things. Yes. And the conversations I'm having with people like Josh Young, who is leading a project, and text messages he's getting from his trade partners on, I've never had a GC care about me like this. Like this is a partner on his job that will show up early, will stay late, will, having conversations around that kind of stuff. Like that isn't just check a box, you're doing your job, here's the checklist, thank you, here's your check. It was people that feel like they're cared for and that they matter. We know, Jesse, and it's not in metrics all the time. They will do better work. They will do more things for you. They will show up and they will genuinely care about the success of the entire project, not just their scope of work.
Yes. The leaders, I'm not going to say companies because we know every company's got some all-stars and some scrubs, period. The leaders out there that systematically demonstrate appreciation for the human beings on their project in their charge will access that discretionary effort, right? What you're talking about is the trades going the extra mile, that's discretionary effort.
It is.
They don't have to give that to you.
Nope.
They give it to you because they feel appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And so being a freaking human and demonstrating appreciation, I think, is the ultimate corporate target that anybody should be going after. Like, sure, go get some new freaking software and sure, whatever, change your messaging and your marketing and branding. You could do that. Or you could just treat people better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and really, really demonstrate appreciation. And you just talk, like your example is proof that when you demonstrate appreciation, you get more than what you're paying for. You get more than what's in the stupid contract. And so, okay, can I go to the comments, Jen? This is way good.
Yes, of course.
So Brian McLean, all right, says will and goals are nothing without the strength and discipline to carry them out. Ooh, Jen, what do you think about? I saw a deep breath.
It is. It is. It's like we talk. You and I have these conversations all the like. We can talk about everything. We can talk and talk and talk and talk, and we get to sit in rooms where people are talking. We get to be on Teams calls where people are talking. We can sit at end of year meetings where they're talking about what all these amazing things that are going to happen next year. We're all in rooms like that. What's the action? What's the decisions that are happening that this is what I'm going to do to be able to accomplish that? And those are the hard ones because you may have to let things go. You may have to let people go. You may have to move out of an area that you are comfortable with and you've been killing it. But for you to reach that, you're going to have to let some of that stuff go. That's hard. That's hard for people.
Very hard.
You've worked your whole life to be in this very comfortable place.
Yes. Super, because it's a different way of operating and you don't have any evidence that proves it will help you.
Yes.
And you have this mountain of evidence that's proof that the way you did it works.
Yes.
That's the challenge. So Miss Claudia coming in from YouTube, actually right now, Jen, guess how many entries we have into the randomizer?
50.
20.
What?
20.
Awesome.
What does that mean, folks? Get out there, make a comment.
It's one comment. That's all you need is one comment.
and you're in the randomizer.
Yes.
Okay, coming back to Claudia, I like this. She says, maybe we need to think about having a scheduled performance review for our personal side. Enter vulnerability. All right, here's the question to the Omniverse and to you, Jen.
Okay.
Think about this idea. Having a scheduled performance review for your personal, like human internal things.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, hashtag vulnerability. How do you do that? Like, how do we operationalize that? Any thoughts?
Well, I do have thoughts, but you've thrown every question at me. I'm not sure you've answered anything today.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up
yes,
again.
Exactly. And so we'll lead into this because I have a very clear answer. But Jesse, I know that like what are you going to do to thrive in 25?
So my thought, the theme for 25 is to simplify and automate. Right? Which doesn't sound sexy, but it's the sexiest. You don't even know. You know, I have my hands in a bunch of things. This year, the theme was to stabilize. And son of a gun, that was hard. Like, it really challenged me. And what did that mean? I had to stop launching every damn idea I had and put them in the parking lot and really focus that energy on the things that I had already launched that were adding the greatest value to people. So that was the stabilize. So now I've done that, and I have some, we'll say, formulas that I can like copy paste to other ideas to grow the other ideas. But next year it's like, okay, I'm sensing, like I can feel it in the air that I am going to experience a massive explosion in growth and opportunities to contribute. And so what I need to do to be prepared to fulfill that calling is to simplify the stuff that I do and to automate it. And so what does that mean? One of the first things, major investments I'm going to make in 25 is a personal assistant, virtual assistant, something in that space, because I need help. Like, I don't know how to automate crap. I'm going to have to learn a lot. That'll be good. Like, I'm excited about learning that, but I'm going to need help managing myself and identifying the things. Like, I need the person that says, why do you do that? And I can say, oh shit, I don't know, just because I do that. So that's the goal, like for 2025. Now to the question, how will I leverage the power of community? I don't think it's a will question. It's how do I leverage the power of community? And so we've got emotional bungee jumpers. We got the cultivation crew, got the No BS tribe. I've got my personal advisory group. Like on purpose, I will share things with different groups of people. Sometimes I'll share the same thing with everybody or individuals. Sometimes it's just like one individual, because I'm not doing it to like brag. I'm doing it because I need whatever energy they have to offer to that thing, to that target or goal. I need that. I need to have the signal back to say, hey, dummy, like, why are you putting so much time into this thing? Nobody cares. Like right now, the number one biggest thing that I need help with, and this isn't a 2025 goal, this is a 2026 goal, but it can happen in 25. I want to compete in a full Ironman. Right now, the biggest gap I have to accomplishing that is swimming. And so I need help there. I don't even know where to start. My buddy Louis said, you need to work on this one thing. Like, okay, boom, that's on the board. And I'm going to figure out how to work on that thing. And then step 2 is get a coach. But that's one small element of what a whole triathlon has. When I actually start getting serious, Rafa is one person I'm going to reach out to because I know he's done it.
Yes.
I just forgot my brother from Contech. Anyways, he's done multiple Ironmans in Denver. So guess what? I'm probably going to have a trip up to Denver to hang out with them so I can learn and figure out how to do this thing. And that's like a simple example of how I have this target and goal, and I'm going to reach out and tap into my community to help me get there more, faster, more, better.
So you mentioned a couple of things, Jesse, and we've talked about this. And again, I'm bringing up some things we probably touched on before, but we have a lot of new people today. So you talked about advisory council, your advisory board, and like
Yep.
people when they associate that to organizations and companies and things like that. And then I want to talk. I'd like for you to dig in a little bit on like what is that, and and how do you select people that can be in that group that you want to listen to, and then in that aspect, how you don't put accomplices in that group.
Oh my goodness.
Can you talk through that real quick?
Yeah. So I'll try to keep it. I'll try not to get you lost in all the chaos.
Yes.
There's a comment here about the combination that you and I are, where I'm like the chaos Muppet and yes, 100%. So in terms of my personal advisory group or advisory board, there's specific things that I know I need a lot of help with. So here's a super simple example. One is being compassionate with people. Because I have this much sympathy. Can you see that? Like that much sympathy. Empathy, I think I have a lot of it. Sympathy, I got zero. And I know that if I just stay in my Jesse mindset, that I'm going to hurt people. I will cause unintended damage by not demonstrating compassion. And so I need that. Like I need a frame of reference, and I need some input and insight on like tweaking my thinking. And so Mara, she's an amazing human being. She's like the most wholesome, compassionate, beautiful person that I know. She is on the advisory board specifically to help me with my compassion. And so whenever there's those things that I want to work on or grow or learn or reinforce, I will pick a person. Sometimes they know that they're the person, sometimes they don't, to help me build, reinforce, and grow that thing, whatever it is. Now, what I have to put less effort in now than I used to in the past is getting rid of all my accomplices. And so what is an accomplice? An accomplice is somebody that's going to revel in my misery with me.
Yes.
I don't need that. Like that, it feels good, but I don't need that. And so here's an example. On one of my divorces, I had all my boys with me, right? They're like, yeah, she didn't deserve you. And you are like, they were and it was good because, they're trying to help me. But not a single one of them said like, bro, like you shit the bed too. Like you contributed to the failure of this marriage. And so that's what I mean, right? You'll see it a lot on the different social medias, right? Where, go girl, like if or these other ones, if they can't take me at my worst, they don't deserve me at my best. And like, I don't need people stoking the flame of my victim state. I don't need people cheering me on for being a scrub. I don't need people that are going to help reinforce my natural inclination to blame everybody and not take ownership. Those are accomplices.
Yes.
How'd I do, Jen?
You did great. And so I want to add at 100% what Jesse said, the way that I weed people out. And I'm going to say that very intentionally because every person I interact with and engage with, it's genuine. I care about them, but I also know that I also may not need to listen to everything they have to say. So the way that I weed people out, and people know this, so if you've done this for me or you haven't, because these are people that I keep really close, that when I'm engaging with you, if you are holding up a mirror as you are talking to me and facing it towards me, then you will probably stay in my core group. If you are not, and you are very much allowing me to, whether it's pity or all the other, whatever those things are, I've just learned that in those, like, I don't even feel good when I leave those anymore. Jesse, I know we've talked about our growth, and there was a place where it's like, yeah, it's okay. And, they didn't deserve, like, that's nice. I don't feel good when I leave those conversations anymore.
Right.
When I'm in conversations, and Jesse's really good at this, when he's holding the mirror up and going, this is going to be stinky and you're not going to like it, but what about this or and whatever? Like, I'm just like, dang it. Like, but he knows, like, I may be cussing him under my breath, but he also knows my next question is, okay, and then what about this? Or how about this? Or I think I can, like, it literally sparks something inside me. Those are the people I want around me. Those are the people that are going to contribute to my impact and influence. And the other people, I love them and I care about them, but they will not be able to breathe or feed anything into my heart.
Word.
That part.
So folks, I love the way these conversations just evolve because of the comments that we get. Like, this isn't exactly where we're going, but it's beautiful. And so I think here's what I'll say is, like, some of the stuff that we've been talking about, accomplices and advisory councils, et cetera, like, these are things, techniques that you can use to, like, make sure you thrive in 2025.
Yes.
I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Clyde. He made it. But he made it. And then we got Miss Noel. Miss Noel is here.
Okay.
Security's not letting us see, but I could see you, girl. Thank you. She
Awesome.
says,
Thank you for being here.
And so we got 5 minutes before we get into the randomizer. I want to go through, there's some folks that shared, like, what their goal word for 2025 is. And so let me go back up to the top. We had a lot of stuff with YouTube, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Looks like we have a lot of people on YouTube. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you for jumping over.
Yeah, like, not giving up on us. Let's see.
Much better than last time. Last time we just both disappeared. So this is at least better than I'm still screaming.
Yeah, for real. So we got Mr. Ernest. He says his word for the year is perform. And if you haven't heard him orate, and I say orate as in the way he not only is he a writer and a poet, but the way he delivers his writing, that is a freaking performance. So you got to check him out. He shares videos and stuff on the socials. Zane Zip 85. I'm not sure who you are, and that's this kind of stinky thing about YouTube, right? It's like, we don't know who it is. Says 10 toes, and I'm gonna guess that they are doing 10 toes standing on business. What do you think, Jen? Am I interpreting?
I think when it came in, it was me, like, I'm going to dip my toe in this, but then I'm going to, like, make sure I'm still comfortable. I'm still okay, but I'm going to try this, whatever. And it's like, you're either jumping in or you're not. Like, there's no halfway. I think that was the purpose of that.
Damn, we'll bring it. So don't play, girl. You got to do the damn thing.
Yep.
Mr. Charlie Dunn says, ooh, I love that. Simplicity. Hell, you know what? You may have just been elected onto the advisory council, because I'm working on simplicity myself.
Very nice.
The chief marketeer says, #connect.
Nice.
I like that. Here's another thing. I want to kick the curb on this one. Mr. Blair says, or the Blair family says, I'm trying to let go of the reins, especially at home. The work-life balance is so vital. I'm learning. And so I think the reins that we're talking about there is this control thing. You already knew, huh?
I like it speaking into my heart. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, man. So, yeah, here's another one. Josh says, disruption, breaking out of comfort zones to create meaningful change. Ooh.
I like that.
I want to hear more about that.
I know, right? I do too.
Yep. And look here, we got a vote. Maria says, automating and integrating are top-notch sexy. Watch out. Fans only, girl. Fans only. Let's see, who else am I missing here? Okay. So this kind of falls in line with the control thing. It's hard to be held accountable or hear feedback. I can be sensitive to it. It feels uncomfortable. You got any advice or pointers on that, Jennifer Lacey?
Oh, yes. Yes, for everything you said, Brian, like 1,000%. And if we're in a place that we're not ready to grow and not ready to do something different, it will continue to feel that way. And it's like, it is what it is. Even if you're just like, I think I'm trying to do better, I'm trying to do something different. My cheat code for you is when you're trying to gauge, you're trying to get an understanding of things that maybe other people are seeing, and they don't feel so good. because I've been there too. The only response, the only response when you ask a question or when someone is speaking something into you and you agree or don't agree, doesn't matter. If they are giving you feedback, the only response is thank you. And if you will train your brain, even if I'm telling you, I have been in conversations, and Jesse knows, where I am when I got off the phone, I'm my spirit just got beat down. I don't feel good. But literally the response was thank you for your feedback. And I got off and I had to self-reflect and I had to go, this is real. This isn't real. This is really, I can understand this, but they don't know this. I was able to decipher my way. But if I tried to do that during the conversation, it would have escalated and then it would have brought zero value to me. And so also it saved a relationship because I said, thank you for your feedback. I got off the phone and then I allowed myself to process everything that happened. And literally it was the turning point for things in my life because of how I took it, deciphered what was real, what wasn't, had some intentional conversations, and it completely changed direction because all I said was, thank you for your feedback. Is that what you were looking for?
I think that adds that absolutely helps because I think I know that feedback is it's a popular thing to post about, but to actually freaking do it and receive it, it's not that simple. And so what I would add is two things. One is, did you ask for the feedback? So you can guide that and shape the feedback that you're getting by being precise about what you want to work on, which again, community, sharing your goals, letting people know what you're working on so that they can give you feedback on the thing that you're looking for. The second thing is this. I don't have to take it.
No, you don't have to receive. You don't have to do anything with it at all.
I could say, thank you for your feedback. And then do whatever the hell I want to do, right? So I take what's valuable and necessary and what's not. Again, back to the beginning of the conversation. If you're giving me feedback on my grammar, you're wasting your breath because I ain't doing nothing with it. I don't care. I'm okay with that. One of the most common things I got back when I had a real job was that I lacked executive presence. That, I would go further if I just had executive presence. And I said, awesome. I don't care to have executive presence. Thank you for the feedback. I didn't tell them I don't care because I want them to keep giving me feedback. But I knew in my head, thank you, I'm put that on the shelf. I ain't worried about it. And so now the third thing or second thing, I don't even know which point I'm on yet or anymore, but the key is practice reps on working and doing this feedback thing in terms of giving and receiving it. And so we're going to do the randomizer. And I'm hoping that our brother gets selected, Mr. Brian, because we're doing feedback right now in the cultivation.
We are, yes.
And
so just so y'all know, right? Jesse, tell them so right now, Jesse and I, we do this because this is fun and we get to talk about fun things and maybe uncomfortable things. Jesse and I also do some other things. And one of them is emotional bungee jumpers, which is learning how to give feedback, receive feedback, coaching and communication and things like that. So we do that once a month. And then we also do Cultivation Crew, which is a year-long talking about facilitation, talking about storytelling, talking about feedback, talking about retrospective, self-reflection. We dig into those, and then you get to have practice and reps with other people that are trying to grow and learn. So those are things we do outside of the live stream. And the randomizer gets you a kind of a sneak peek where you get to go and engage with us for a month.
Yeah, well stated, my sister. And so, okay, we're on the screen. Hold on. Let me make sure it looks cool. All right, folks, everybody that made a comment.
Here we go.
Look at all those awesome faces out there. Maria Martin is the winner. All right, sister, you already know you can share your because you are a repeat offender.
Yes.
Yeah, and so you can share that. You can gift that to somebody, And all right, Jen. So congratulations, folks. Thanks for like commenting and contributing. We've got about 11 minutes left, and we're going to have the after party. We're going to share the link. So I'm going to ask you this question, Jen, while I go and do the link sharing so that you can answer it and guide the conversation. Miss Noel asked this question. How do you find people for your personal advisory board?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so I will I'll give some cheat codes for one. Number one is let me get out of this so my screen's not jacked up. Number one is you've got to want it. So number one is you've got to be willing to go, I'm in a place of growth. I'm in a place of, trying to understand what's next. I have some goals I'm trying to accomplish. If you are good, if you're in a place where you're comfortable and, right now I'm on track, I'm doing everything I need to do, I don't really have anything I need to work on, you don't need to go searching for an advisory board. Like that is just not something that you need to be looking for if you're not in a place to receive. So let's just put that out there. I feel like a lot of the comments and a lot of the things that are happening out there is most of our people are in this space of what's next. How can I contribute more? What does this look like? And they are also, I'm going to say, part of our No BS tribe. So they are already in a place of, I want to receive and I want to be able to do better. And so when you are in that space, you've got to say it out loud. You've got to voice the things that you're looking for, because you can in your mind have an idea. Like I could go, oh, I think I want to do better at this. I'm going to reach out to Charlie. Charlie may not have any clue what's in my head, what's in my space. I may like the things Charlie's doing, but like he's got to be able to understand what the ask is. And so you've got to voice it. And I'm saying socialize it, not just let me make a phone call. But if you're on social media, start putting that stuff out there. Start talking about the things, the areas that you want to grow in, the things that you want to focus on going into next year. It's a great time of year to go, here's the things I'm going to grow in and I want to focus on next year. And I hope that I have some people in my community that can help me get there. As easy as that, you've put it out there, you've talked about it, you're going to see people gravitate to that conversation. But then they're also going to be another conversation. You're going to be in spaces in your head because you're voicing it. You're going to start seeing more people saying things and doing things. And you're going to go, ooh, like I just saw him give that person some really good feedback. I need to reach out to them. I need him to be giving me that feedback. You're going to start seeing things. You're going to be more visible when you've voiced it and socialized it. And so to me, that is, for me, I learned that by one, accidentally saying things and Jesse going, oh, I see that one thing that you just said, and now I'm going to ask you about it every time we talk. And so that when you put it out there and you say something out loud, it becomes a little more real. And two, you now have people around you that can check in on you and that can ask you this, but also can give you the feedback on, hey, you said, Jesse, that you're wanting to do this for 25. We're 3 months in and I'm watching you. You're scary all over the place. Is that really what you want to do? Well, yeah. Okay, well, you're not doing it. That's real. That's feedback that some of us don't like to hear, but that's what we need if we're going to grow and get better. Did that answer your question?
I hope so. So there was Noel's question, and I want to add a couple extra points because you nailed it, right? Like, are you really committed? Maybe that's the first step, right? You got to get super damn clear about what it is, what direction you want to grow in, what skills you want to learn. Because for me, I'm happy to contribute to anybody's situation. Like I love it.
But if you want Jesse in your space, you better be willing to do some action, because if you don't take action, he's out. I'm just going to say.
100%, right? Like this is my filter. Some people want to grow and solve their problem. And I think of problem like just, it's the gap of where you're at and where you want to be. Mm-hmm. It's not a negative or positive thing. It's just, that's just what the problem is. Some people want to solve their problem. They want to work on it. They want to do something about it. I got you. I don't care how fast or how slow you're going. I just care that you're going. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, if you're fall in this other bucket, that is, some people just want attention about their problem. You ain't getting nothing from me. Like, if we talk, we have the same conversation more than twice, I'm done. Like, like, what are we talking about? You're in the same, you're running around in circles. You want sympathy. I don't have any of that. It's on back order. Find somebody that has some. Now back to the idea, answering Miss Noel's question is I, in terms of like identifying the people, I do two things, and it's like either or almost. I will identify people that are in, like right now, I need to learn about automation. I want to learn about automation. So what I started doing was going through the socials, doing my research on TikTok to find people that talk about AI and automation and whatever. And then I consume their content. And then I say, I like this person or I don't like this person. I like this style. This kind of resonates with me. And then I scope it down. I do that in real life too, right? Like there's a few people in my life that I know that are in the automation space. I need to access more, and I'm going to leverage them to help me access those people. And then I say, okay, these are the people. So it's sourcing, right? How do I source? I identify the thing. Then I find the people that have that skill set or knowledge. And then I say, I need help. How do I, this sort of thing, whether it's paid or free, doesn't matter to me. This is what I need you for. So sometimes I'll have a real human being that I'm going to access. I'm either going to pay for it, or they're going to be gracious and let me steal all their time. And of course I'm going to contribute back. Or I find a talking head on the internet in the omniverse and just consume all of their stuff. Sometimes I don't tell you that you're on my advisory council. And I don't exactly know why, but it's just like, okay, I spent a lot of time with this person. I can get stuff like this is the value that I'm getting. I don't necessarily need to tell them that they're that person. And haven't even thought about why or why not I don't do that, but that's just kind of how I do it. So summary, I have digital talking heads that I use as advisory council, especially when it's something that's way out of what my current network has, which is an indicator that I need to expand my network. Then there is a direct ask of people to say, hey, I'm working on this thing. I'm going to bug the hell out of you about it because you're on the advisory council. And this is why I'm asking you the thing, so that they understand why. And then the third bucket is like, you're like on there, whether you like it or not, but it's going to be like touches, right? I'm not going to be taking too much of your time. So those are my tactics, and they've worked really well in terms of designing or recruiting, curating my personal advisory council. Take what works for you and then put in your own stuff. What do you think, Jen?
100%. And it's kind of part of my final thought. So I'll kind of bring it in together here, but, and we want to be clear, like, it doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. Because just when you and I collided about three and a half years ago, we didn't like go, this is how I'm going to feed into Jesse. And Jesse's like, this is how I'm going to feed into Jennifer. Right. It was a conversation, and we started talking, and we realized that there was value in us doing some stuff together. Like it was that we didn't have this big grand plan. You may have, but I didn't. And so, but I think the more reps and the more things we did together, things started to uncover, and the layers started to reveal things that you've even said. Like when we get to talk and we get to brainstorm, the creativity is like off the charts, but you didn't come looking for me to grow your creativity. Like some of those things happen over time as you're building those relationships and those connections. So that piece, and then I want you to kind of comment to that. And the other piece is, because you have people on your advisory council in this moment in time, does not mean that a year from now they are not feeding into you anymore.
Right.
And so remember, yes, if it feels good and it feels like it's helping you progress and move forward, then yes. But if at any point it's something that you feel is keeping you somewhere, keeping you stagnant, pulling you back, maybe putting some, a little bit more guardrails around you, whether because they're worried about your growth or not, it's time to reevaluate who's on that committee.
Yeah. Yep. So I forgot the question you had.
Sometimes we don't know exactly how that person's going to feed into our lives, but there's something about their energy or something about them that we want to be a part of.
Yes. So totally, Jen, there were some indicators that I saw. Right, I'll say it this way: I had this idea that didn't go away, and it had been in my back pocket, in like the little pebble in my shoe for like 3 years. And Jen and I connected on a live stream, or we connected at Congress in 2019. And I was like, oh, that person's awesome and interesting. All of a sudden, things came together. It was like this idea, this person, let me connect them and see what happens. And then what happened is, like she said, like the collision there, like exploded. It's like, whoa, this is something. And then that learned what I started notice every time we talked, this volume of creativity that I typically don't access, I can access when you and I are kicking ideas around and whatever. And so then it's like, whoa, okay, more of that. Like it wasn't something, I mean, it was on the 600-year plan, but it just happened, 8 years ahead of schedule. And so, I went ahead and made the adjustment. But it was one of those things, like I knew that, or I had a sense that I want to kind of move in this direction and do something a little different. And then when I connected with her, it was like, oh, hell yes, we got to go, and we got to go super, super fast. Now, to reinforce one of the points that you made, and I hope we didn't go too far and lose everybody, but I had been socializing that idea, that goal, that aspiration for 3 years. And it just kind of, and then finally when I talked to Jen about it, it was like, boom. It was like, okay, boom. And then here we are. So, folks, we got the after party coming. Charlie gives us some advice. Rise above the level of your leadership. I love that. Ernest, I love this. So, folks, I know we didn't talk a whole lot about goals and shit, but I think we talked about some valuable stuff. He says, working on my dumb goals. Make 2025 daring, unbelievable, magnificent, and be bold while you're doing all of those things. And if you're going to be super bold,
yes,
come to the after party.
Join us.
Please. We'll see y'all. We'll hear y'all for sure in a few minutes.
Yes.
Take it easy.